Hi YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to turn your trash can grill into an oven. And we're going to use our oven today to bake pizza. We have on the direct floor of the trash can, we have our coals, wood, paper, and lighter fluid waiting to be lit. Then we have our first tier of 90-degree brackets. Then we have our second tier of 90-degree brackets. So after our fire gets nice and good, we're going to put on just like that. And that's going to be the bottom of our oven. Then we're going to place our pizza pan on top of that grate right there. That grate is covered with foil. Then after we put our pizza pan on, we're going to put the top of the garbage can back on, but we're going to do it upside down so that the top can serve as the top portion of the oven and hold the wood and coals and paper. So let me show you what that part will look like over here. We have the same old trash can lid, and we have vent holes in it from when we used it as a grill. So we just turning it upside down. Then we're going to cover our vent holes with foil. And we're going to start a fire over here. So we're going to have the top of the oven getting warm over here and the bottom of the oven getting warm over there. Then after everything gets nice and warm, we're going to put it together like this. And we're going to let our pizza bake. So we're going to show you the whole process step by step. So now that I showed you the setup, now we're going to get our fires lit in both metal compartments. So this fire is getting hot, and you never start putting your food on until the charcoal turns white. And that normally takes between 20 and 30 minutes. Now we're getting the lid or the top of the oven fire lit. And you see we have everything right in the center, so we have something to grab onto when we transfer it to the side over here. All right, so while the oven bottom and the oven top are getting ready, we're going to go ahead and get the pizza prepped in the pan. Top, we just turn the trash can in the opposite direction it normally goes. And the bottom of the oven is the base of the trash can. See you soon. Hi YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Chicago style pizza crust using baking powder instead of yeast. Let me tell you what the ingredients are. This is 3 cups of flour right here. This is a half a cup of cornmeal. This is 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of salt. These are the ingredients you need to make a Chicago-style pizza crust using baking powder instead of yeast. Additionally, you will need half a cup of olive oil. You will need water to hold it all together. And you will need a butter-lined, round cooking vessel. I'm using my cast iron pan, and I'm also using my rolling pin. So at this stage right here, I'm going to add my olive oil. Get the olive oil all over everything. Okay. Now I'm going to mix it up with my hand and get everything incorporated. So I'm going to show you that step, what it looks like when it's all incorporated nicely. Okay? Hello. Today I want to show you an amazing recipe. It took me years of trial and error to come up with this recipe, but it is the definitive recipe for movie theater popcorn. Let me show you what you're going to need. You're going to need 1 stick of butter. What you do with that stick of butter is you add a tablespoon of coconut oil. You also need annatto seeds. You need salt. You need corn oil. You need popcorn. I like this brand Jumbo Pop. It seems to do really, really, really well. You're going to need a slotted spoon. This is so you can get the annatto seeds out of your oil. You're going to need a popcorn popper. This is the only way I pop popcorn at home. I do not even own a microwave because I don't like the way it makes the food texturally. So, we're going to get started by adding 2 tablespoons of corn oil into this popper. And these are very, very, very affordable. And they have the same type of mechanism as commercial poppers, which is this turning mechanism. Okay, so let me add my 2 tablespoons of corn oil to this, and I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of annatto seeds. So let me show you what that step looks like. So I have my annatto, my stick of butter, my tablespoon of coconut oil, that is a teaspoon of annatto, and I'm going to also put this on that super low flame because we don't want any browning. We just want it melted and colored. And that combination of oils and fats and butters is what gives movie theater popcorn a very distinctive flavor. Coconut oil, corn oil, and butter is the secret. And annatto is the coloring that works perfectly. Okay, so while that's going nice and low over here, I'm going back to my popcorn popper. I'm going to take my slotted spoon, it's been a minute, and I'm going to get all of those annatto seeds out. You must get the annatto seeds out of the oil. because it will pop if it gets too hot, and that's going to interfere with the sound of the popcorn. So let me fish these out and put them aside. So I have removed all of the annatto out of the corn oil. It's a beautiful color. Now let me show you what's going on over here. The butter, the corn oil, and the annatto are all going nice and low and slow. And you see the color is getting super beautiful and spectacular. So we're going to continue to let that go nice and low until it's completely melted. Now our oil is ready. Our oil is ready, and you only use half a cup of popcorn. That's all you use is a half a cup. So I'm going to turn it to a medium is the halfway point, then you go to high. Medium, high. So that's about a medium-high flame. Now I'm going to add 1/2 cup, a half of a cup of popcorn. And I'm going to spread it out nice and flat so that each piece of popcorn is touching the bottom of the pan and being kissed by a little bit of oil. So I've added my half cup. Now I'm going to take this side mechanism and I'm going to start doing some rotation. And you can also do some just regular old pan shaking. So that's what it looks like. Now we're going to cover it and just do some rotations. Now you just have to listen. After it stops popping rapidly, turn it off so you don't get any burning. It's just getting started really, really good now. Don't take the lid off right now. I want to show you what's happening, but it's way too dangerous. So that's our popcorn. You can see it has some faint yellow speckles, some white speckles. Now we're going to add the oil. Not the oil, but the butter and coconut oil and annatto blend to it, and that's going to make it even prettier. Alright, so that's pretty much melted. Let me turn off the flame. Alright, so I had to grab a regular spoon. Let me get the oil over here to the popcorn and just drizzle it all over. Then you want to stir it. A little more of this medley. And you don't have to fish the annatto seeds out of this because if you're eating popcorn, you can see the seed. And you're going to drizzle on some more. Look at the color that gives. Stir it up. My God. That is how you do movie theater butter. At this stage, you salt it to your taste. Movie theater popcorn. Let me let you see all the different color variations in here. Yellows and whites are everywhere. Let me let you see another batch. Yellows and whites are everywhere. So I'm going to make several batches using this same formula. And then I'm going to salt it all at the end, and then I'm going to show you what it tastes like. I cannot wait. Do you see the yellow and white? My goodness. This is so good. And the coconut oil and the butter together give that distinctive flavor. So I have my 2 tablespoons of corn oil hanging out with a teaspoon of annatto seed. I'm just going to swish it around. I'm going to let it go for a minute. And I have plenty of this medley for future batches of popcorn. And if anything is left over, you just store it in your fridge. You can put it on toast or more popcorn, or saute some veggies in it. It's delicious. Alright, so that's been about a minute. Let me grab my slotted spoon and fish out all of those annatto seeds. But you see the oil is super pretty. And the more batches you do back to back, the more color variation you're going to have with your popcorn. Okay, 2 tablespoons of corn oil, 1 teaspoon of annatto. Let me fish it out and show you the next. Okay, so I got just about all the annatto seed out. Now you add half a cup of popcorn, and you actually have to measure this. This is one of the recipes you actually have to measure to come out perfectly. After you add your, before you add your popcorn, you got to turn up the flame. It's on low right now. You turn it to medium and then a medium high. So after it sets like that for a minute, get it nice and warm, you're going to add a half a cup of popcorn. So let me show you that next step. So it's been about a minute. I'm going to add a half a cup of popcorn. And I'm just going to shake it to spread it out. Then I'm going to do a little bit of turning to level it. Close the top. Do some more turning. And wait it out. When it stops rapidly popping, it's done. It takes under a minute once it starts. Just started. It's starting to slow down. Turn off your flame, let it sit for a minute. Just letting it sit to make sure you don't have any kernels that are still waiting to be popped. Haha, like that one. Should be good. Let's have a peek. Oh my God. You see all the yellow and white variation? Oh my God, it's so pretty. Now I'm just going to take it and dump it into our first batch. And then we're going to fish out the burnt pieces. All right. Looking good. So I got to take out a couple of the burnt pieces because you don't want to eat those. It's not many, but there's always some in homemade popcorn. Ooh, hot. Do you see the color variation right now, guys? Oh my God. Telling you, this is the definitive recipe. A few more burnt pieces. And now we go to our butter and coconut oil blend. Just like that. You drizzle it over everything. A little more butter. Oh my God, it's so good. Then you stir it all up. So I have 2 batches of popcorn in here. A couple more burnt pieces. And they are looking beautiful and smelling beautiful. Now I'm going to drizzle with salt while the butter is still warm. Oh my God, look at that. Do you see the color variation? Look at that. Yellows and whites. Trust me, I've tried for years. And I finally cracked the code. You really need to try this recipe. Let me salt it down and let you know what it tastes like. I got my plain old iodized salt. I want to add a little bit more butter. This is movie theater popcorn, guys. Look at that. Oh my God. Alright, stir it up. Now you just add a pinch of salt. Coconut oil, corn oil, and butter already have pretty good flavor. Light sprinkle of salt. That's it. Stir it up again. Now you got to test it one more time before you serve it to your guests. You want to taste test for salt. It's good, but I want a little more butter and a little more salt. The butter and salt is to your taste buds. But the other ratios are non-negotiables. Alright, stir it up. Oh my God. mm, mm, mm. I'm just doing a little zoom in, zoom out so you can see the yellow and white variation. Oh, it's so pretty and so tasty. And it's very healthy. Here's what it looks like on a white plate. The color pop is even more significant on a white plate. Plate, bowl. Mmm, yummy, 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 yummy. I've done all the research and trial and error. This is how you do movie theater popcorn at home. Oh my God. Mmm. Mmm. My God. Mmm. Those flavors, those different fats, those natural ingredients. God. Thank you for watching. Please try this. So everything's incorporated. It took maybe a minute. And the olive oil is going to help everything. When it does this and crumbles apart easily, it's done. Grab a handful. Stay together. Crumble easily, it's done. Now we add our water. We're adding warm water. We're just adding a little bit at a time until it comes together in a ball. So let me show you what it looks like after I get my ball. We're just doing some hand kneading and forming right now. And you see I've added very little water and it's already forming a ball. But I want to get it all incorporated into a nice smooth ball. So let me show you that next step. So it took maybe about 3 minutes of kneading. And this is what it looks like when it's done. It should be able to put your hand in. It should hold shapes. It should still feel rather moist. Okay, it's holding shape. And you see there's no particles in the bowl. All the dough has formed into a mass. Now this is enough for 2 crusts, so I'm going to break them in half now. I'm going to set one aside. And I'm going to roll one out on my stainless steel countertop. That's exactly why I have stainless steel, because I want commercial grade, able to cook and bake and prep food easily. So I'm going to take my one ball and I'm going to roll it out nicely and evenly with my rolling pin. And I'm going to set aside a little bench flour right here just in case it's starting to stick. So let me put my bench flour out here. Then I'm going to show you how I roll my dough. So I have my dough and I've already started pressing it out with my fingers. And because it's on the stainless steel, it's not even really sticking a whole lot. And remember, the cornmeal is in it too, so it's not 100% all glutinous. Alright, so I'm going to start rolling it out. You start taking your rolling pin and placing it in the center of your dough, and you go firm and even in each direction. Top, bottom, left, right. And you want to do that in all directions until you have the thinness or thickness that you desire. Okay. Now that is enough dough for this size pan. Now here's the task of moving the dough into the grease pan. So I'm going to do a little fold over on my rolling pin. That cornmeal is so pretty in here. It really is pretty. It's a next level pizza crust. Okay, so I've done that rollover method. Now I'm going to go ahead and place my greased pan over here. And now I'm going to do the unroll. Just start in the opposite direction. And take it like that. Okay. After you get to this stage, that's when you want to do your hand pressing. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Okay, if you get some holes, just squeeze them together. But you want to make sure you get some hand press action and some thumb press action all around the sides, okay? That's how you do Chicago style crust. Deep dish. Okay. You can make it pretty if you want, but kind of quick and rough is what I'm going for. Okay, that's my crust pressed into my pan. So now that I have my crust pressed into my pan, we're going to discuss the toppings. For Chicago pizza, it's sausage, peppers, onions, mozzarella cheese, cut thick, and a chunky tomato sauce. Now, this is turkey sausage. I chopped it up and added some fennel powder and black pepper. This is just sliced peppers and onions. This is mozzarella cheese sticks chopped up. And this is 1 small can of crushed tomatoes and 1 can of tomato sauce. And I just added a little Italian seasoning and sugar to that. So here's the fun part. Getting your cheese on. Chicago pizza, you have to have the cheese all around the edges. So the cheese is baked in. So you go heavy on the cheese, but make sure you press it into the edges, okay? So let me get my cheese put in all into the edges of this pan, okay? After I get the cheese laid out, I'll show you what it looks like. Just taking globs of cheese and pressing them against the cast iron. Let me show you that step. This is a very, very important step for Chicago. The cheese must be baked into the cast iron on the sides. As you can see, I have taken my thumbs and pressed cheese all around the pan. I have pressed that cheese everywhere. And even though we're not using yeast, you still want to let your crust rest for a few minutes before cooking. I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes after I get all the ingredients on. The next layer is that turkey sausage, that fennel and black pepper infused turkey sausage. And you have to be generous, but this is already fully cooked sausage, so. All right. I got my sausage everywhere. Every bite should have some sausage in it. Now you take your green peppers and your onions and you do the same thing. Every bite should have green peppers and onions in it. That's looking good. The last step is your sauce. Chunky, slightly sweet. Alright, I got my sauce on. Now I'm going to spread it out. Okay, needs a touch more sauce. Over here. Over here. Over here. And over here. Alright, that looks saucy enough. Now we're going to bake it for 20 to 30 minutes. We're going to check on it in 20. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. This smells absolutely amazing. And I've had Chicago style pizza, and this smells and looks very, 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 very similar. But the truth is in the taste. So I'll show you that when it comes out the oven. Now that all the toppings are in place, the last touch is Parmesan. Grated Parm. Yes. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Alright, so I'm going to let it sit for just 10 minutes, then we're putting it in the oven. I'll show you that step, putting it in the oven, then letting it come out and letting it cool, because you got to have it cool to get that cheese crispy crust to come out right. I'll show you the next step. So you can see the coals are white on the bottom half of the oven, and the coals are white on the top half of the oven. So now we're going to lower the grate in on that bottom layer. Grate is in. Now we're ready for our pizza. We've just put our pizza on the bottom grate, and now we're going to put our lid on the top, and we're going to let it bake. Heat is coming from all sides by the time we put the lid on. That is how you do a trash can pizza oven. And remember, there's ventilation holes at the bottom, so there's ventilation holes at the bottom of both sides of the grill, so it's getting plenty of air. And it's smoking and cooking, and it's working just as good as an interior oven. Heat on all sides. So it's been cooking about 15 minutes. We're going to take the lid off and check on the pizza, see how much more time it needs. Okay, it's still baking. The cheese is melting nicely. It's still nice and hot on the inside. It just needs more time. Cheese is melting, the crust is puffing. We'll give it some more time. So our charcoal was burning out pretty quickly, so we decided to add some more charcoal and some more wood. And now we're going to move it up to the top rack and finish cooking the pizza. And so we made an adjustment to the fire. We put it on the hottest rack. Now we're getting ready to put the lid back on. So it's done. It took probably 25 to 30 minutes and one heat adjustment. Let me cool it down and cut it up and let you know what it tastes like. So it's finished. It looks great, it smells great, and you can tell it's done when you look at the sides. You see it's coming away from the pan. It's crispy. Wow. Let me cut into it and have a taste. Mmm, look at this. So now I'm getting ready to cut into it. Ooh, still hot. You need a pot on it. Some layers. Layer City. All right. I got a slice. I need to do some more cutting. That cheese layer is impenetrable. Ooh. Ooh, boy. Look at that. Chicago pizza. You see the underneath of it? You see it's browned up and not burnt or anything and crispy. Let me get that on the plate. Because it's Chicago pizza, it must be eaten with a fork. Let me get my fork full of pizza and show you what it tastes like. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. It's so crispy and zesty. Mm-hmm. 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 That is so good. I think I can even pick it up with my hands. Mm-hmm. Putting that cornmeal in the dough, that Chicago thing, it's extra special. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. I hope you try this recipe. Thank you for watching. Before all my pizza's gone, I wanted to show you that crispy crust edge. The pizza's delicious. I think that pizza made with yeast does taste a little bit better than pizza made with baking powder, but this is still very good. Thank you for watching again.